In this episode, I'll talk you through how I made this small diorama called Ewe Turn. Yep, that's what I called it. And you'll hear me struggle with the words bristle brush. Still can't get it right. So what I'm going to do here is I've got a few scrap pieces and I'm just going to make a little display. So I've got a set of points that are broken. These that's no longer connected and is free to move, so I can't use that on any layout. I've got this piece of thin plywood from the backboards that was cut off as an excess. As you can see, it's just about big enough to fit on the points with a bit of track either end. Obviously, because these points are broken, this isn't going to be like battery powered or anything like that. It's not going to be functional, it's just going to be for just display only. So I've got two pieces that will make a base and back, and then to do the landscape I have this piece of corner polystyrene from some packaging. So I'll use that to I'll basically put glue on the back of this, set it in place, glue the wood to it, so that's going to give me a good right angle, and then this bit will go under here to support the track, so it will sit on just like that. So I guess I'll start with the gluing. So there we are, that's all glued up, and whilst that dries I'm just going to paint this bottom section brown. I don't know what I'll do with this, whether I'll just have it as like a raised bit, a bit of grass there going up on the embankment, or whether I will paint it blue, give a try at doing some water. I've seen a few examples of how that's done, so maybe I'll do something with PVA and blue paint. see how that works out. So I've trimmed the top of the polystyrene off, give this sort of like a wavy edge. This was angled sloping that way, so that couldn't stay. So I've cut the slope off, giving it a bit of a nicer curve and painted it brown. So now to move on to the next stage. Right, so that's some scrap pieces of cork cut. They are gluing. I've got the track on there, and I'll come back to this tomorrow. So using paper on the back to paint was a bad idea, so I've replaced that with card because the glue made the paint go, the paper go all crinkly. I've painted the track bed grey, and I've yet to decide if this is going to be water or road. I've painted it grey because that will work as an undercoat for both. So I've added the Gauge Master scatter to create the grass, but the backboard, the card, hasn't worked either, so I may rip that off and do it again. So the glue is set and the grass is on, obviously not finished yet, so I'm doing some glue to glue the track down, and I will sprinkle some ballast on top there and do it all in one go. So I've added the ballast. As you can see, I've slapped plenty of it on. Don't normally do this, you wouldn't normally do this, but these points are broken, so remember that these points are broken, which is why I've just piled loads of ballast in there, because they will not work. I do not have to worry about leaving that section free of ballast to allow the points to operate. They will just be set in that position. Yep, so I just got to wait for that to dry, and then I can flip it over and shake off the excess. Okay, so I've put a load of glue along the back and along the side here, glued the track down. It's just held with glue, no pins. Cut any overhanging track, and now that the glue's set, time to shake it off and see what it looks like. Okay, so I've shaken off the excess. That's what's left. I think I liked it a bit bushier, so I will add some more glue to the back in a bit and try and bush those bushes out a little bit more, maybe a bit more down the front as well. But right now I'm going to try a water trick from, I think it was called Marklin of Sweden. So it's basically a combination of watery PVA plus toilet paper. I'm going to put it here, then it will get painted blue, and then you add a gloss varnish over the top to give it like a shimmer. It looked okay on this video, so I'll see if I can do anything half as good. Okay, so there we go, that's the toilet paper added, soaked in the watery PVA, and then just using a brush, just sort of like shove bits up to create a ripple effect. I will leave that to dry and then come back tomorrow and attempt to paint it. Something a bit funny, this train come with an accessory pack, except there's no holes for the brake pipes and there's no floor in the cab. Great. Okay, so having a go at painting now. So I've got my colours here, green, brown, blue, white, and a bit of water as well. And making a start, going to start off with like a muddy bank, and make it a bit greener, bluer in the middle. Okay, so there we go, paint's on. One of the paints in the I showed a moment ago wasn't there, it was black. Black is used in it and the blue is not used. Yeah, I always find that weird that you paint water without using blue. A bit strange, but but anyway, so there we go. So we got like the muddy bank, and then as the water gets deeper it gets darker. I haven't blended it particularly well because I thinned the paint when I wasn't supposed to, so the blending hasn't really worked. So all that's left now, so let's see what do we have left. So once this is dry, apparently I should leave it for 3 days, but it's really hot up here, so I'm hoping I can get away with tomorrow. Then I'll apply some gloss to that to make it shiny, look watery. I will add more foliage, particularly along the bank, maybe some little bits of green, add a bit more to the back there, and any also perhaps add some green paint in any sort of like blue spots, but hopefully I'll be able to just add glue there and just stick some extra foliage in instead. And also this needs tidying up, that's terrible, so I need to put on like a thicker coat of blue paint on there, but hopefully now this is dried that should act as a base, and then I should get a much better coat of blue paint on there. So I'll probably, whilst this dries, I can tip it on this back and I can perhaps give that a try, see if I can get sky looking a bit more like sky and less like streaky paint. Okay, so learning from past mistakes, I'm going to try, well, this is mostly white, and then I've literally just dipped the brush in there to get a more realistic sky blue, much paler, and also I'm using a very soft bristle brush, and the hope being that when I brush the paint on, it's obvious the harder bristles have caused the streaking, so I'll try a soft bristle brush and see if that works better. So there we go, it's all dried, set nice and well. I've got the high gloss varnish out and a soft paintbrush because I don't want to scratch it with a harder bristle one. So we'll see how it goes, see if it looks watery or not, and then once that is done it's just a case of adding a bit more bush, and I've got a couple of pieces, I'll see what else I can find to just sort of like litter the track a bit. Maybe add 1 or 2 more sheep as well. Right, so added a few more sheep, 1, 2 there. Gave the back an extra coat, so leave the gloss and the paint to dry now, and then come back tomorrow and I will add the foliage, add more bushes to, cover up where the toilet paper meets the card, so I'll like bush that out a bit, perhaps add a little bit of grass and also bush up the back there as well to get rid of any patches, and also to cover up where the paint has changed colour from darker blue to lighter blue. There we go, so I've thickened up the bushes to get rid of the blue gaps between, spotted some paint on them to make it look like they've got flowers or fruit on them, and I'm about to give a second coat of gloss to this just to make it a little more shinier. Okay. Right, so just making the finishing touches, just cut some ends, painting them white to go on, and they'll also help keep it a bit more sturdy as well, because currently this shape is only held by the polystyrene. This wood is not connected in any way, so those will go on the ends, and once glued on will hold it more firmly in place and hopefully prevent it from ever snapping. And there it is, the finished item. So quite simple. So it's just made of polystyrene, bit of grass scatter, some brown paint, greens, blues and brown paint for that. Not blue, green, black and brown paint for that. With a high gloss and toilet paper. Just some of the underbush added. Some paint added to pick out bits in red and yellow to make it look flowery. You know, and that's an old set of points that are just glued in place, and so we'll just add the train to finish the look. There we go, custard. Yum yum. Right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.